Hey guys, your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be the Combat Series episode number 80 for you guys today. And to kick off the Combat Series this week, I'll be sharing my updated men's pound for pound boxing list in the sport of boxing today. So in this segment, I'll be ranking them, my respective pound for pound fighters 1 through 10 in that particular order in the sport of boxing today. So starting off at number 1, I have Alexander Usyk as the best pound for pound fighter in the sport of boxing today. He had an incredible 2024 Fighter of the Year, in my opinion, defeating Tyson Fury twice to become a two-time undisputed champion, 2 different weight classes. That was remarkable. 2, I have Terrence Bud Crawford, who is a 4-division world champion, currently the reigning defending WBA, a super welterweight champion in the sport of boxing. 3, I have Naoya Inoue. I like to call him the modern-day Manny Pacquiao, being a 4-division world champion, climbing up and down in weight classes, bringing his power and his skill set to different weight classes comfortably. At 4, I have Arthur Beterbiev, who became an undisputed champion, defeating Dimitri Bivol, giving Dimitri Bivol his first career loss in the sport of boxing. 5, I have Canelo Alvarez. You cannot have a pound-for-pound list without having Canelo a part of it. He's one of the greatest boxers in boxing history. 6, I have Dimitri Bivol. Even though he lost against Arthur Beterbiev this year, I still find him as a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport of boxing today. One of 2 men to only defeat Canelo Alvarez in his illustrious Hall of Fame career. 7, I have Gervonta Tank Davis based off the skill, power, boxing IQ, speed, and athleticism, what he could do in the boxing ring. I don't think there's anybody at 135 to 140 that could truly beat the Gervonta Davis. 8, I have Bam Rodriguez, tremendous fighter at the lower weight classes. 9, I have Shakur Stevenson, who do a mix of both, a tremendous offensive and defensive fighter in the sport of boxing. And 10, I have Teofimo Lopez. Whether you like him or hate him, you got to respect of what he's done and accomplished in the sport of boxing to put him on a top 10 pound for pound list. But as I catch my voice and give you guys my quick top 10, I'm going to go to a deeper dive of why I have these respective fighters ranked at the particular spots that they do and the reason why I believe they deserve to be on my pound for pound list. So 1, Alexander Usyk deserves to be number 1 on my list right now. In my opinion, 2024 Fighter of the Year. Marked him as an all-time great in the sport of boxing today. He's going to the Hall of Fame based off of what he's accomplished in the sport of boxing. I mean, he's a 2-time undisputed champion at cruiserweight and an undisputed champion at the heavyweight division. First ever first ever undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. And he has victories against Tony Bellew. Daniel Dubois has 2 victories against Anthony Joshua and 2 victories against Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, 2 great heavyweights, 2 of the greatest heavyweights that we've seen in this generation in the sport of boxing. Alexander Usyk could say he outboxed them, both of them, on 2 separate occasions in the sport of boxing. So we also can't forget that he's also defeated Arthur Beterbiev in the Olympics years ago. So Alexander Usyk, what he's accomplished as a whole in the sport of boxing, he's definitely going to the Hall of Fame for sure. Now 2 is Terrence Crawford. He also is a 2-time undisputed champion, 2 different weight classes. Undisputed champion at super lightweight and an undisputed champion at the welterweight division. 4-division world champion, currently the reigning defending WBA super welterweight champion at 154. Defeated I forgot who he defeated during the summertime. Wow, my mind just went racing. But as I digress, he is still, in my opinion, the second best fighter in the sport of boxing, and has the KO, at his time at welterweight, I should say, has had one hell of a run. And I mark him as one of the greatest welterweights in the sport of boxing. I mean, he has knockouts over Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Earl Spence. He's knocked out every fighter that he's fought at welterweight. Definitely got to put him on my pound-for-pound list at 2. 3 would be Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is a 2-time undisputed champion. The modern-day Manny Pacquiao, how he's translated his power up and down weight classes very comfortably, fighting well in different weight classes. His boxing IQ, his quickness and power makes him a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport of boxing today. Now, number 4 would be Arthur Beterbiev. Now, Arthur Beterbiev finds himself as the undisputed light heavyweight champion, defeating Dimitri Bivol a few months ago in the sport of boxing. That was not an easy task. I mean, that fight was a clear chess match between 2 respective fighters that are some pound-for-pound greats in the sport of boxing today. He found a way to beat Dmitry Bivol, in my opinion. I thought Dmitry Bivol won that fight. But as the time stands, Arthur Beterbiev got the best of Dmitry Bivol and became the undisputed champion at that weight class. And plus, Arthur Beterbiev has a 95% KO ratio. His punching power, his presence to cut the ring off, will walk his opponents down. That's something that has made Arthur Beterbiev special in the sport of boxing. When he does that, he breaks down his opponent's skills and their power in the sport of boxing. So definitely a tremendous fighter in the sport of boxing. Now 5 is Canelo Alvarez. You got to have Canelo Alvarez as one of the greatest of all time. And definitely on your pound-for-pound list. Is he still the same fighter that he once was 5 years ago? No, he's starting to slow down. And that comes with mileage when you have 62 victories in your career. 4 division world champion, former undisputed champion at the super middleweight division, first ever undisputed champion of the super middleweight division. I mean, his resume is amazing. He has 2 victories against Triple G. He's also defeated Sergey Kovalev, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley. The list goes on what Canelo Alvarez has accomplished in the sport of boxing, and definitely deserves to be on a pound-for-pound list. Now, at 6 is Dmitry Bivol. Now, Dmitry Bivol suffered his first career loss against Arthur Beterbiev this year, and is still a pound-for-pound great in the sport of boxing. Only second man in boxing history besides himself and Floyd Mayweather to ever defeat Canelo Alvarez, and also has one of the best jabs in the sport of boxing. Very alert defensively, great footwork. Definitely deserves to be still in pound-for-pound list despite having his first career loss against Arthur Beterbiev a few months ago. Now 7 is Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, I don't care what anybody says. Gervonta Davis might not have the best resume in the sport of boxing, but he's a tremendous special fighter that deserves to be on a pound-for-pound list. He's a 5-division world champion. He's defeated 8 former world champions in his boxing career with knockout victories against Leo Santa Cruz, Jose Pedraza, Mario Barrios. He's also defeated Isaac Cruz. He's also defeated guys like Ryan Garcia, Frank Martin. He's handed these guys their first career loss in the sport of boxing. Currently the reigning defending lightweight champion, WBA lightweight champion in the sport of boxing as well. So I don't understand why we wouldn't have Gervonta Tank Davis on our pound-for-pound list in the sport of boxing. So definitely has everything you want as a pound-for-pound great. 8 would be Bam Rodriguez. Bam Rodriguez makes you want to be invested in the smaller weight classes in the sport of boxing. He's a 2-division world champion. Has already accomplished a lot in the sport of boxing. He already holds a Ring Magazine world title. In order to hold a Ring Magazine world title, you got to beat the best of the best in your respective weight class. So Bam Rodriguez being this young in his career, already being a Ring Magazine champion, speaks volumes of what he's already accomplished. And he has some marquee victories in the lower weight classes against guys like Christian Gonzalez, Sonny Edwards, Juan Estrada. Those victories have helped him become on my pound-for-pound list based off of what he's accomplished, based off how good he's been in the sport of boxing. 9 is Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is a 3-division world champion, currently the reigning defending WBC lightweight champion in the sport of boxing. He's also an exciting fighter. No matter what you say about him, let me take that back. He's not an exciting fighter, the most exciting fighter to watch, but if you like dissecting the film and watching the craft of what Shakur Stevenson could do in the sport of boxing, I will have to say he's one of the most talented fighters that this generation has ever seen in the sport of boxing. Based off of what he could do offensively, defensively, his boxing IQ, has a stiff, solid jab that will hit you right down the pipeline, right down the middle. I gotta say, Shakur Stevenson deserves to be on a pound-for-pound list. And 10 would be Teofimo Lopez. Now, as an African-American, I'm not going to lie, Teofimo Lopez is one of the most aggravating fighters to see build up a fight when he's got to call guys like Gervonta Davis and Terrence Crawford out of their names and call them monkeys and a racial standpoint to build up a fight or try to get a fight with them. He's not the most likable guy in the sport of boxing, but his spot, based off of what he's done in the sport of boxing, he deserves a spot on my pound-for-pound list. I mean, he's a 2-division world champion, former unified lightweight champion, reigning defending WBO super lightweight champion, also a 2-time Ring Magazine champion with marquee victories against Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor in the sport of boxing. So Definitely got to put them on my pound for pound list, but those are my top 10 pound for pound fighters in the sport of boxing today.